Hello and welcome to this episode of Hustle and Pro. It's episode 168. I'm your host, Kelly Walker. We have another host on the show today with us as a guest. Some of you may know her as Spud from the Frisco RoughRiders. She's the host of the RoughRiders games. We're going to get to know her a little better today. And this is exciting for me. Whenever I get to sit down and interview somebody one-on-one who I'm used to hearing in the stadium or seeing in the stadium, it's really exciting for me to get to know them a little bit better and to share their story with you guys. So, welcome to Hustle and Pro, Katie Floyd.
Okay, I want to start with the sports side of things. We're obviously in a different setting today that is not specific to sports. Nope. We're going to talk about it, but I know you through sports. Yeah. I know of you through sports, and so I want to hear a little on that first. I know you because of your personality on the mic at the RoughRiders. So tell me how that came to be. How'd you find them, or how'd they find you?
Yeah, so this is interesting story. So I started out on the entertainment crew at RoughRiders when I was a teenager because my brother found a flyer and he was like, this looks so cool. So the theater kid in both of us wanted to do that. But I had no desire to host. I didn't think about it. I was just behind the scenes, helping field produce, making up dances and stuff. And I did that for years with still no, didn't think about hosting. And then we got a new boss one year, and I was completely joking, and I was like, yeah, when our host is gone, I fill in. Everyone knew it was a joke. But anyway, she left for a weekend, and my boss was like, the game's yours, and gave me the mic. And I was like, okay. So I hosted that whole weekend. I was really nervous.
Sure.
Because, I sing and I hear myself in the microphone, but I've never heard myself in a stadium talk.
Which is different.
Very different. And so that threw me off, and I was like, okay. And I was a little uncomfortable at first because everyone I saw before me was strictly journalistic, and I was like, okay, I guess that's what they want. So I was a little more
stand-up news report.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, if this is what they want, I'll kind of tone down me, I guess. And so I did that, and the nerves kind of settled, and I was like, dang, I wish I could do this again and put more of me into it. But it ended up, the host didn't come back for the rest of the season. So they were like, do you want to host the rest of the season? And I was like, absolutely. And then slowly I put more of my personality, and then I was just got really comfortable when I was like, you know what I'm going to do is have the most fun I can have.
Yeah.
And
which is the whole point.
Yeah.
It's why that, I'm assuming it's what that host job is, obviously you're guiding everybody through the entertainment stuff that's happening in between. I guess it's mostly in between innings and if there's some stoppage of something going on in the game. But it's to have audience people like us to keep having fun and stay engaged in what's going on out there.
Yeah, and it's more I made it more of a conversation between me and the fans rather than me just talking to the fans. You know what I mean? Just they're involved in everything.
Yeah, you mentioned being on the mic and hearing yourself in there. It's a different kind of focus, right? So I hosted a live event in there once, and you have to be prepared for the feedback and all the things that you can hear yourself again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens during that event there's so many people in there, but it's a focus, and then you have somebody in your ear, right?
Not usually.
Oh no, okay.
If I'm hosting Party at the Yard way in the back, I will, but most of the time I hear Chris just throw it to me.
Oh, so. You just go live with what's happening over the speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed y'all were coordinating in your ear.
Not usually. If it's very loud, then yeah, but most of the time it's just ready to go.
Yeah. So your brother told you to go check it out. So were you guys, are you into sports when you grew up? Are you into baseball? Was your family into sports?
I was really into sports. I was a competitive gymnast my whole childhood, so I was very active, and I loved sports. My brother is too, so. And then my dad played college baseball for the Gators. So I was born a Gator. My whole family loves the Gators. So, and my mom is really competitive. She did softball and stuff. So,
I love your family already. 'Cause I grew up a gymnast. My sisters and I also, yeah. And then when I quit gymnastics, went to softball. So was always a baseball family. Yeah. So that's funny. Neat. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then when it came to watching sports, my dad really, was the one who was like, oh, I played baseball. And so I got into watching it mostly because of him and because I worked at RoughRiders. So that is, I can watch baseball all day, every day.
I know that I said in the intro, some people may know you as Spud. So it's on, and we say that because, right, it's on the back of your jerseys, like a player jersey name. So why Spud? Is that something that happened with the RoughRiders, or was that earlier than that?
That was earlier. That was high school. It was a nickname because I was allergic to everything except potatoes, pretty much. So I couldn't eat lunch from school. I knew I couldn't even try. So I used to just bring raw potatoes and just shave them and eat them throughout class. And the thing is, I grew up thinking everyone did that because my mom gave that to me, just because I had bad allergies. So anyway, it was just me walking around with my Spud, and I don't know who started it, but then it was just like, she is Spud, and my brother hasn't called me Katie in I don't know how many years.
That's funny.
So yeah.
I figured it's because you're a smaller package.
I mean,
small potato.
I was too, but
how little are you? How big are you? How tall are you?
I am 5'1".
I don't mean to ask that offensively. How little are you? How big are you? You're 5'1".
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the gymnast in you, right? Like you seem like a gymnast stature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still tumble?
I do. Yeah. Sometimes my brother and I will go to open gyms.
Okay.
Or I'll try to do backflip off something.
I feel like you, when you were in the entertainment crew, were tumbling a lot. Were you doing back handsprings and back flips?
Every day. Yeah, aerials and stuff like that.
With your hair down.
Yeah.
I always remember being like, wow, how could she even see, but.
I have pictures like that too. My hair is just flowing and I'm flipping.
Yeah, isn't it funny that that's what I remember about you being out there was you flipping, because it's very entertaining. And there's a guy that did flips too.
It's my brother, probably.
No.
Flip, yeah.
Flip, yeah.
Yeah, that's my brother.
I didn't know that. How funny. Yeah, Flip. That's totally right. I love that y'all have nicknames out there, because that's how we know you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is not the only sports hosting you do, right? You do work for a couple other local teams?
Yeah, I picked up 2 since you and I last talked.
Oh, wow.
Also. But yeah, I do Frisco Fighters, indoor football, Allen Americans hockey. Starting tomorrow, Dallas Jackals rugby.
Ooh.
I know. And then I picked up SMU men's basketball.
Whoa.
So
okay, back up. Okay, so Allen Americans, yes. So you're on the ice, or you're not on the ice? You're in the stands?
So I go back and forth. During intermissions, I'm on the ice hosting events or whatever. We had a proposal the other day, so that was fun.
That is fun.
But sometimes I'm just in the stands with the fans.
Yeah, interacting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you said rugby. Where does that take place?
That's at the old Rangers Stadium.
Oh,
so,
Globe Park. So outdoors. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because they converted it to like a soccer / football size kind of field setup or whatever.
So I'm studying that.
Yeah.
Before tomorrow.
I mean, it's not like you're calling the game. You don't have to know the details of what's happening, but you just probably want to be aware and alert and know how to speak to the terminology.
And before I did hockey, I read Hockey for Dummies. I just wanted to make sure, which baseball I already knew, but I still want to polish up on whatever I'm hosting,
Sure, yeah. I mean, you also need to be believable that you're part of the crew and the team, and not know what's happening at all. That's fun then, rugby. Okay, we're going to take a quick sponsor break, so we'll be right back with Katie Floyd. This episode is brought to you by The Pit, Performance Indoor Training. The Pit has 3 training and entertainment complexes in the DFW area that offer both indoor and outdoor elite soccer training. The Pit offers league play for co-ed, youth, and adult leagues. And for training, the Junior Academy is for ages 2 through 6, plus the Pit Soccer Academy for ages 5+. And goalkeeper training is offered as well. To learn more about the Pit Frisco, Plano, or Roanoke, head to performanceindoortraining.com. Player to Player matches elite high school athletes with younger, aspiring athletes through 1-hour private lessons, semi-private lessons, and camps and clinics. Learn more at playertoplayer.com. That's player2, player.com. All right, we are back with Spud, aka Floyd, right? Nobody really calls you Katie, right?
No, nobody.
Okay, so we talked about sports and how you're a sports host, but I want to talk more on kind of your other passions and I guess your day job. I don't know if that's what you call it or not, but tell us where we are and why.
Okay, so we are at School of Rock in the Colony, and this is where I teach. When I'm not hosting sports, I'm teaching kids how to sing or play instruments, and that's really my passion, is music and writing and making my own music. But I think it's really cool that I found this place. Well, they asked me, but really just like inspiring kids and finding like, okay, they like this band, well maybe you'll like this band, or do you want to try and learn this on guitar?
Showing them new pieces of it.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got into music or started learning music?
I was for as long as I can remember, I was in choir.
Okay.
And trying to get the solos and stuff. But then when I was a little older, I went to a School of Rock in Frisco. I was still a kid, but I got training there. And then there was a guy, David Gashin, who was Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, and he taught me for a little bit. So I really just wanted to soak up, whatever I could.
That's awesome.
Could learn. Yeah, and I have a passion for singing and writing music, so.
And you mentioned theater, so it all mixes together.
Yeah.
You like to perform.
I do, yeah. And really, and I call School of Rock Land of Misfit Toys, because a lot of times the kids we get are the ones who just kind of don't fit in at school. Yeah, and it's all rock music, and we like to teach them the history of what they're learning too. So my favorite band is Zeppelin, and if I have a kid, like I had a girl singing Immigrant Song, so it was really fun to teach her that. But yeah.
Do these kids, okay, I'm so much older, and so do kids come in here knowing who Zeppelin is?
They do, okay. Yeah. And they're the ones who are like, my friends don't care about Zeppelin or Pantera or whatever, or Bring Me the Horizon. And I'm like, well, we do. Come on in.
Yeah. I love it, because I feel like that could easily get lost. Generation from generation. So it's good to know that there are kids who still know. Yeah, it's still alive. So what do you play? Do you play instruments?
I do. So play my vocal cords, guitar, bass, dabble on drums, but really I stick to mostly vocals and guitar.
Yeah.
It was a good writing tool for me too, because I write and produce my own music, but I'll just kind of write on my rhythm guitar and then take it to the studio and build off that. So yeah, vocals and guitar are my main instruments.
What ages are you working with here?
My youngest is 8 and my oldest is like 50. So
50?
I teach, yeah,
50?
we teach adults too. We have an adult band
here. I assumed it was kids only.
I call them all my kids, but there are some older than me too. Yeah. But yeah, it's any age.
So anybody can come. That's great. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, a lot of adults are like, the kids' parents are like, oh, I wish I would have learned. I'm like, well, learn now. I have a student who her and her mom take lessons. So it's really cool.
That's
it's never
great.
Too late. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, pulling something else from stuff I've seen on your YouTube channel. This is going to be a repeating pattern, because there's so much interesting stuff that I want to ask you now that I have you. That you sang with Candlebox.
I did. Oh, we're bringing that
That's
up.
Cool.
Yeah. Candlebox is one of my favorite bands. And their debut album's my birth year, 1993.
Okay.
That's just that raw kind of rock and roll. But I did a cover of one of their songs, and Kevin, the singer, found it and contacted me through Facebook, and I just about died.
Wow.
Because he was like, we're going to be in Dallas in a few days, and me thinking, yeah, I have tickets, you're my favorite band. I didn't say that,
of course. You're
and he's like, do you want to sing it with us? And I was like, yes. And I have never been more nervous in my life.
That
I was
wild.
shaking.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't. And
they tracked you down.
Yeah, and it's like I was so nervous.
When was this?
This was December of 2017, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and
wow,
still seems crazy.
I mean, how do you I don't know. You can't prepare. You already were prepared, but I'm sure you were really nervous.
Oh yeah, and I thought it was all nerves. What's happening? But it turns out, funny story, I thought butterflies in my stomach were just butterflies. I got home, I had the flu.
Oh, you were sick.
I didn't know it. I was getting sick, and I thought it was my stomach was just all these nerves, and I was like, oh, just kidding.
That's normal, actually, to feel that nerve, for it to be nerves. But it was the flu.
Still a fairy tale.
So you mentioned how you produce and do your own music. So tell me about that. What do you sing? You're writing your own and covers, or was covers more old,
I'll do covers and put them on my YouTube channel, but when it comes to the studio, it's all stuff I write. So that's under She Is Floyd, that's my artist. She Is Floyd. Yeah, She Is Floyd, it's my artist name. And then I write mostly rock songs. Sometimes I'll do a sappy ballad here and there, but and that's more of me, and I tone down my style a bit when I'm hosting on the field or something, but singing's all of me and my style. And I do like to write for other people too sometimes. And like I'll have placements every now and then in like commercials or something, just with instrumentals I write. So I'm really all over the place.
Yeah, that's cool. But that's how it goes, right? There's no like linear path in the life of music. You do what you put out there and see what happens with it, right?
Yeah, and
there's no pattern.
Yeah, it's my passion. It's either sports or music, and I'm happy I'm doing both right now.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome. You are pretty covered up today, but you have a lot of tattoos.
I do.
Yeah.
Do we want to see them?
Sure. Okay. I do want a tattoo tour. Now we got your mic back on, so show us what you got.
Okay, you can tell me where to go.
Yeah.
So this is a little snake guy crawling up my arm, and I knew I always wanted a snake going up my arm. It was just hard to find an artist I was in love with.
I see words here. What are these words? Find.
This is Bukowski. Find what you love and let it kill you.
Oh, I love that.
And then I have Edelweiss from The Sound of Music, because that's one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
You're Wild is a Dirty Dancing reference.
Is it?
Yeah, she's in the car, and it's like, it's the moment I felt where, you've seen Dirty Dancing, right?
Yeah.
Where she's just like,
literally listening to this song like today.
Nice.
Yeah, in my car. It came on the radio for some reason.
She looks at him and she just goes, "You're wild," and starts laughing. And I was like, in my head, that's when she completely turned.
Changes.
And she like, yeah, and I just felt that. And I was like,
transformed into like the summer dance girl.
Yeah, like who she, like just more confidence. And so I wanted the artist to like scribble it on me, you know?
Like kind of wild.
Like, you're wild.
That's fun.
But,
that's cool.
Yeah, and then I've got, this is the song I sang with Candlebox sometimes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you get that after?
Yeah, I got that in Seattle, and that's where they're from. So 217's a haunted hotel room on The Shining.
Oh.
That I went to. Yeah.
Wow. That you went to?
Yeah. They
have like a
Colorado.
Where you can go see it.
Mm-hmm. So Stanley Hotel. This one's...
You scary movie
I
thriller
love
person?
Scary movies.
Yeah.
Actually, my boss has like his arm is tattooed with like scary movies, and I'm like, that's awesome. But one that's really important to me, this one is a logo from one of my favorite bands, Fair to Midland, and the guy's name is, they're from Texas, but the guy's name is Darrow Sutter, and he taught me when I went to School of Rock. Oh. So I fell in love with his band, and I'm still in love with it. Like, I have it tattooed, so.
What's the name of it again?
Fair to Midland.
Fair to Midland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy vocals.
Awesome. I see
AFI.
a cat.
Yeah, because AFI is one of my favorite bands, like the old school. Forget the Former Things. Starting over. I have these little tally marks from Doctor Who. Are you a Whovian?
No.
Well, there's any Whovians out there
know what that was. Yeah.
It's about like a scary monster called the Silence. So.
Okay. 2 more random things.
Cool.
That I'm curious
of
because these speak to me. Okay, you like to sew clothes?
I love sewing clothes, yeah.
I grew up sewing too.
Heck yeah. I sew a lot of my own clothes. And I like kind of the more edgier side. Like I put all these studs on and everything. But
are you self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
going at it with the machine, messing up and trying it again, you know. But I'm going to see this band in California, and for like an album anniversary show, and I'm making myself a AFI like theme dress, and I'm like, you can't buy that, so I'm making myself like the colors and everything. So I'm assuming your style, like you like unique, different things. Yeah.
You don't really want to wear something to this concert that everybody else is gonna have on.
Yeah, just the kind of the creative in me is like, wants to do something a little different, a little edgy.
Yeah, you're not a vanilla like 9-to-5 desk job kind of girl.
No, I would go crazy. I like being on the go with all these different sports too. That's what I'm doing. So
yeah,
I can't sit still sometimes.
I was gonna say you probably can't sit still.
No.
Yeah, and then you say, do you like being called Crazy Cat Lady? Or
I embrace it.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom is too. My old apartment complex, I think we've caught like 25 stray cats maybe.
Whoa.
It is hard to catch cats who have never interacted with humans. So we would just go out there and feed them every day, and they would get to know us a little more. So yeah, and funny, I told someone this, but you know, Jose Trevino. Mm-hmm. So he used to live in my apartment complex, and I didn't know that. And he messaged me, and he was like, "Are you the one feeding cats all day, like talking to cats?" And I'm like, "Yes. How do you know that?" So, yeah, if I need a little me time or fresh air, I'll go sit with the cats.
Go hang with the cats.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, I love your personality. It shines through, obviously, and I love that you are now to a point hosting that you can use it and you can like put it out there, and you're not just the stand-up, the traditional voice on the mic. It makes it fun for people like me in the audience to have personalities out there flipping and talking and hollering, and
you get to hear my horrible puns.
Yeah,
witty puns.
It's great. It's great. It's what keeps it fun. So thanks for doing that, and keep doing that. Well, I'll be watching for you at all these other places now too that I know you're out there. So thanks for taking the time and letting us come in here to School of Rock.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for joining us on this episode. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel at Hustle and Pro, and follow us on Instagram at hustle_and_pro, and we'll find you next time. Thanks.